South Africa completely outclassed by India in the third T20I. Dominated, outclassed, just a complete domination, ultimately with bat and ball from India. South Africa had no answers whatsoever in this match for anything that India threw at them. There were periods where you could say certain players got themselves a little bit on top, but ultimately it was a complete domination from India. And South Africa draw the series, however, after winning the first match. But my questions are going to be: what did we learn from the series? What did we learn from the situation? There isn't much for us to be able to say that we learned from this. Ultimately, it's a match that we're going to dive into. We're going to try and get some insight into this and try to understand what went wrong, what went right with the game um, f- in this particular match. I've got a few opinions on the match and what I think should have happened and what puzzled me. But I'll get into it as we get the show going. Before we get going and before we get started, there is a couple of announcements that I'd like to make. First and foremost, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is right now on the screen as well as in the description. And then I also want to promote something new that we have launched, and that is Cricket Fanatics Magazine Business Corner. We've set up the Business Corner to help you market your business, products, and services effectively and affordably to a cricket audience. So if you have a business or you're an entrepreneur and you want an opportunity to have a conversation with us to see how we can help you do exactly that, then come over to Cricket Fanatics Magazine Business Corner, sign up, set up a meeting, or converse with us over email, and we can get that conversation started. Okay, so without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Not really looking forward to discussing this one. I wish we could have sat here with a little bit more of a positive outcome of this particular match, but there isn't much positives to really talk about. So let's get into it. A very good evening and welcome to a very terrible evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show we talk about everything that happened in the third and final T20I between South Africa and India. India won the game by 106 runs. South Africa won the toss. Just to give you a quick summary of what took place if you didn't get to watch the match, South Africa won the toss and they put India into bat first. Now, I think that the thought process was that we're going to get some movement up front and some swing up front and then try to get early wickets and put India on the back foot at the Wanderers because it is generally a very good chasing ground. But what ended up happening was the complete opposite. Nandre Berger was quite expensive in his opening over. Aiden Markram was quite expensive. He did try to suppress the opposition batters. Didn't work out that way. And he went for 15 runs in his first over. And South Africa didn't get off to a great start at all. It was something that, other than the wickets that Keshav Maharaj took to get him to 29 for 2, from then on out in that after that 2.3 overs, South Africa really got everything wrong. And when it comes to the bowling attack, I think the one thing that we learned is that when Andrich is not there, KG is not there, Lungi is not there, Gerald's not there, Marco's not there, the next in line still have a way to go to perfect their game against international bowlers. against international batters. I mean, that is something that was plain to see. What I think we got wrong, if you look, and you can maybe say it now with hindsight after watching India bowl, and this is something that I've picked up and mentioned quite a bit over the last couple of times that we watched T20 cricket or international cricket and covered it on this particular channel. What ended up happening is India, the Indian bowlers, and you can see even the second string team, you could say, could put that ball in a good line and length consistently. The way they bowled, Mohammad Siraj, for example, bowled the to Riza Hendricks in that opening over was absolutely superb. And then not only that, what was even more impressive was the way Mukesh Kumar backed him up. And what was brilliant about it is that they put it on a very difficult line. They saw what troubled Riza and they continued there. They didn't try something else or switch it up or try to bowl various different lines and lengths. They just kept it in that position because they knew it was a difficult, it was a troublesome line and length to bowl, and they just kept it there. And that's something that our bowlers need to learn, is that consistency. And it's not something that I've only seen now. I think it's in all formats that we, besides tests now, I think we do it pretty well in tests. But in ODIs, we saw it in the World Cup. In T20s now, we've seen it. We even saw it in the previous game. Keeping that consistent, dangerous line and length, putting the ball where you want it consistently is something that we need to really get into our bowlers. Um, and you can see by the bowlers and their economy rates and the amount of runs they went for, that it wasn't a very good performance. Okay, Nandre Berger brought it back very well, I must admit. So 1 for 39 after 4, an economy of 9.75. Okay, Keshav bowled really well, 2 for 26. He was good today. But Lazard, 2 for 46, 11.50. Andile, 0 for 33 after 3 overs, 11 economy rate. The Bray Shamsi bowled okay, 1 for 38 for his 9.5 economy after his 4 overs. But I think that's what we lack today. And we kind of, those two bowlers, particularly Andile and particularly Lazard, they are not youngsters anymore. They are experienced bowlers. So we can't necessarily still make excuses for them. I guess from that perspective, it's something that they can fix. I guess they can fix it. I think there's opportunities for people to learn consistently, and every single game you can learn. But by this stage, I think in T20 cricket, particularly but T20 cricket, I don't think it is a playground for us or a place for us to, I think, bloody new talent. I think we need to bring the players that are the most ready straight into the setup, that are ready for this pressure and ready for this game. The ones that are doing it consistently. Uh, and I think Lazard has gotten quite a bit of opportunities now, and I think Andile has got quite a few opportunities now. Have they shown to be good enough for this level in those times that they've been given? Now, it's not necessarily consistent runs. It's also that we also need to take into consideration. But are they the next best in line is what the question that we have to ask. Someone like Nandre Berger at the moment has gotten this debut, and I think he pulled it back as well. But we need to now see him bowl more. I was very disappointed that Othniel Batman didn't get a go today. He was in the squad from the beginning, and I was disappointed that someone like him that has shown that accuracy at domestic level hasn't gotten the opportunity to maybe show it in this particular series. Perhaps things would have been different if we had the first game, but I was a little bit disappointed that can be. At this level in T20 cricket at the moment, I think that we need to pick the best that we have. And the SA20 is going to obviously open up a lot of eyes, and it's going to show a lot of things, and it's going to probably put a lot of players onto the radar for Rob to pick from. Luckily, we are very settled. I did a short today and a TikTok and Instagram story and Facebook, not Instagram story, an Instagram reel and a Facebook reel about South Africa's T20 side being quite settled. We only need like a couple of positions to fill. But today, I don't think we worked a step closer to getting there. And the reason I say that is because I don't understand why Stubbs was dropped. Um, for me personally, it doesn't make sense um, why he was not given another opportunity. The positions for me personally that still need some work in international cricket, in T20 cricket at the moment, we first have to sort out what's happening with Quinton de Kock. So that means obviously the opening spot is available. That's why we've given someone like Matthew Breski an opportunity. Then I think the number 3 position, because we still need to find out what's happening with Riley Rousseau, there's a spot in the middle order for someone, right? Anywhere from 4 to 6, I would say, because you can shift up Miller or and Andy Klassen up or down, dependable on the game, right? So there's still opportunities over there for them. They can still be shifted up or down, right? So I think there's a middle order spot available, and I think there's an opening spot available with the bat. 7 and 8, we could still do with a proper number 7 that is a batter. That like a Donovan. I think Donovan Ferreira should be given an opportunity at a 7th position, and maybe also turn his arm over a little bit and bowl some balls. I think that could be a good option, but there could be another opportunity for someone else that's maybe a proper 7, right? Who can be there because um, at the moment, I don't think Andile showed enough, to be honest with you, in the opportunities that has been given to say, that number 7 spot is mine. Um, he shows flashes of brilliance with the bat sometimes, and then some flashes here and there with the ball. But when he's bad, he's bad, and when he's good, he's decent. So he can be devastating in certain matches, but I don't think he's shown enough for him to say that that spot is his. I think that Marco is doing way more than him with bat and ball, and I think that Gerald Coetzee at the moment is doing way more with him with the ball. So those two youngsters are outperforming him at the moment. We should find another position. I think another batter. Maybe someone will put up their hand in the SA20 that we can maybe add into the mix as well. But there's a lot of work to be done there, and um, I think it was a move missed to drop Stubbs today. I think it was an opportunity for you to put him up the order, let him bat higher up, and bat deep. We clearly ran out of batters today as well. We we had we had a very shallow batting attack. Like the batting wasn't very strong today for a T20 game at all. So I wasn't very happy with the selection today, I must say. First and foremost, if you're going to experiment, then experiment and then give the guys an opportunity like Otniel. Um, we needed that extra seamer, I think, today. I don't think that we necessarily needed, if we're going to, I mean, it all depends because the way India bowled, their spinners bowled today was fantastic. And it seemed like if you're going to have two spinners in the side, um, um, I think if you're going to have two spinners in the side, then you have to, I think for me personally, you have to chase on this wicket at the Wanderers. I don't think it's a you bowl first then. If you have two spinners in the sides, from that perspective, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. And obviously now with hindsight, when we look at the situation, that would have been a better option given the two spinners. Um, I think I think there's still the same type of traits coming through with regards to Aiden and with Klaassen, etc., throwing the wicket away when the team needs them in a situation. Um, but and David Miller batted okay, but then ran out of partners. But other than that, there's not really anything very positive to really speak about when it comes to this Proteas team. So I'm going to take a couple of calls now. It's not going to be extremely long calls, but I'll give you guys an opportunity just to say everything that you want. So please go ahead and give me your rant, give me your points that you want to say. when I bring you on the show. So first and foremost, we got Ahmed with us. Welcome to the show, brother. Go
Hi,
ahead,
bro.
take it away.
Yes, bro. Thanks again for hosting me. Um, I understand totally the off day today. Yeah, I understand that there weren't great positives today, but I would still like to look at some of the positives to move forward. Among those that one of the things that I already wrote is that at least the youngsters had a full taste of proper international side against whom they played. So playing against the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav, against the likes of Siraj, quality spinners, so they have a taste of what it takes to get to that level, and hopefully they can bring it to the franchise side and work on that. So that's one of the positives I would like to take. And among other positive things I would like to take is the fact that uh, regarding the batting performance that Aiden had, yeah, he got out, but he seems really solid. Even he scored 25 and 30 in the other match. He seems solid, and it's not that the captaincy is impacting very much his performance. So luckily, we can build from this and carry on. And yeah, regarding the fact that you said we didn't experiment properly, we did a bit of experiment in bits and pieces. Like, yeah, we gave some of the youngsters some chances, but then we didn't give chances to everybody we had. So we did the experiment in bits and pieces. So there could have been a bit more experiment considering the World Cup. But yeah, I would like to see most of the positives, even though it hurts as a fan. Yeah, I understand. So what do you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah, yeah. So from my perspective, is you're getting into a World Cup. You've got 5 games left, basically before the World Cup. How much experimenting do they really want to do is the question. So I look at the positions in the side and I say, okay, where are the vacant spots where we could possibly, strengthen? And I think that maybe having a backup for Riley is important because we don't know how long he's going to be around and whether he's going to make himself available for South Africa or not yet. There hasn't really been much talk around him and he hasn't played any of these series because he's playing in all those tournaments around the world.
Mm,
So there's a 3 position, 4 position, maybe open, or possibly a 6 position open at the moment. We've always lacked a finisher other than David Miller. So we've forced David Miller kind of to play that finisher role where a lot of us say actually he needs a little bit more overs to get his eye in first to go before really gets going. So maybe 5 is better for him. And Klaassen could probably bat at 4 as well. And Aiden can probably bat at 3. So then we're sitting with the the Cock dilemma. Rob Duplessis. Rob Walter
Walters.
said, yeah, Rob Walter said specifically that he had a conversation and they had to convince Quinton to stay on for the T20s. He was going to retire from both formats, ODI and T20. And he kind of spoke to him and said, okay, cool, you can go play in your tournaments around the world, but if we need you for the World Cup, we want you to still play. So I think that maybe a backup for Quinton as an opener is important. So we need to think towards the future for that. And then, so I think that those 3 positions are maybe something that we need to look at by selecting someone that can probably cover more than one position. So I see Tristan Stubbs as a 4-5-6. I think that whole he can play 6, but I think he's better at 4 higher up when he has more time at the crease. And then an opener maybe that can bat top 3. So someone like Matthew Bretsky can do that role. He's been given the opportunity. It didn't go to the way he would have liked it to go. I mean, the first run out, and then today just giving his week, nicking it onto his wickets. 2 unlucky dismissals, you could say, towards an extent. But showing a little bit of a flash there with 1 or 2 shots. But we need to think about who is ready to come in then straight away in a World Cup? Do we give an opportunity to a youngster now that is going to learn from the setup? Or are we going to give someone that we feel is ready to make the step up straight away? And when you're in a World Cup, yeah, I think you need to give opportunities to players that are ready straight away. Um, because the opening position isn't as important. Like I wouldn't say it is a must at the moment for us to go look for that because with Quinny is available, you can take maybe a little bit of a risk to take a look at some youngsters like a Matthew Brzezinski, for example. And but with Stubbs today, I think that was probably the biggest disappointment for me, is that he didn't get to go today. As well as Otniel Bartman, who's someone that was in the squad, brought into the setup, and didn't even get a game. And I think that's a bit unfair, I would say. And we had the opportunity with Marco and Gerald missing to give him an
Mhm.
opportunity to play.
I agree.
So what's your thoughts there? Anything else you want to
Yeah,
say?
yes, I would like to consider another thing is I would like to know also what you think is that because we have only few matches, I think more or less 3 matches against West Indies before the T20 World Cup. So we finished this series against India. We have only like 2 or 3 matches against West Indies. So we have only 3 international matches, and also the SA20 to look at. I would like to think also that we can also try to see the ODI performances just to have an idea about some of the players to be considered also to the T20 World Cup. I know that it's a different format, but because we have so many few games, only 2 or 3 T20 internationals, to try and see some of the players that we think can play in the World Cup, T20 World Cup, and give them a go in the ODIs can be some sort of helpful. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I would have actually preferred right now for us to go with players that we know already to come
Mhm,
straight into the side in this series, given that we only have a couple of
mhm,
games left before the World Cup.
mhm,
So Stubbs needed to get a go, and I think Donovan was the right decision. I wasn't upset about Matthew Brzezinski necessarily, because he's gotten 2 games before, and they seem to be looking at him in and amongst the side. So I wasn't really upset about that. But for me, is Andile the right person? Is he ready right now? Is
mm,
is Lazard the right person? Those are questions I'm asking right now. And Nandre Berger getting his debut now. Are they going to look at him really as a viable option to come in? Are they going to look at someone like Otniel Bartman as a viable option to come in? Those are all questions that I'm asking. Now, I'm not saying they're not,
mhm,
but I think that they need to give players that they know are ready right now. If you're
mhm.
going to pick players, they need to be ready for that World Cup, because that's what we're aiming for. Because we're not just aiming to take part; we're aiming to win the tournament. So that's something that we need to look at. I'm just going to give you your last thoughts before I bring on the next caller. What's your last thoughts, Ahmed?
Yeah, the last thought is for the ODI series. So we just have to forget whatever happened in this match because we know that we are way better than what happened today, and just focus on the specific match every time on the specific pitch. Analyze the bowlers, just bowlers which are playing because we see that Indian pace bowlers have a variety of deliveries. They can swing, they know how to bowl in proper areas, they have great discipline. So we need to analyze properly with the video analyst the deliveries and practice, try to replicate those kind of deliveries in the match sessions or in the training to prepare for the specific matches uh, going forward, and just forget about what happened. That's
I
it.
think I think our bowlers try to do way too much. Thank you, Ahmed, for coming on. And I'll speak to you very soon.
Thanks to you. Have a
Um,
good day. Bye.
You too. I just think we try to do our bowlers try to do too much, too many variations, too many funny tricks. You can see by the Indian bowlers, they keep the ball, they stick to what they're good at, and they keep it consistent. If they see they beat the bat, they put it there in that same spot again and again and again. And I think that's something that our bowlers need to learn. We've got Ashwani in the back end waiting to come on. How's it, bro? Long time no see. What would you like to say, bro?
Yeah, hello Khalid, how are you? Yeah,
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I watch a little bit of clips of the match. Not I watch all the match because I am at Saudi Arabia. I'm not in India. So yeah, I'm following little bit cricket. Saw the clips of the match today. I think what I saw in South Africa's team over the years, I think if the World Cup is in the West Indies. So I think the guys like Rob Walter and the other coaching staff, they need to look out the last four players, because the more or the less your 11 is we can count it in the fingertips, that the guys like Kodse, Lungi, Ngidi, Rabada, they all are in the squad. But the last four guys they need to pick. So for this, they need to keep in mind that in the West Indies the pitches are a little bit slow there. It's a bit like Dubai or subcontinent type of cricket. So they need to bring that spin bowling all rounder in their attack. So I think in that case South Africa is lacking. Although they lost the match, but I am not going into this match because I am thinking about the West Indies. So in that case, I think South Africa need to bring that spin bowling all rounder in their ranks. Though they have the likes of Marco Johnson, they try Andile Feklikwayo, but I think that area the South Africa lacks, because if you saw, I know they have David Miller, they're trying Tristram Stubbs at 5 or 6, plus they also try Britsky. But I think that the 6, 7, 8 number, it is a very crucial number in T20s, because if you saw in the last two T20 World Cups, the teams which has that solid 6, 7, 8 numbers, they are going to win the T20 World Cup, or they are going to into the semis or final. So I think in that case, South Africa need to strengthen their 6, 7, and 8 number.
So, in your opinion, who would you have liked to see come in as that 7 or 8 option? I know George Linder is an option over there as a spinning and an all
Yes,
rounder, but we haven't really seen him being favored by the selectors at
I
all.
think there are many. Yeah, yeah, there are many in the domestic setup. You know better than me, but I see the likes of obviously it's very early to say the likes of Bryce Parsons, because he can bowl left arm spin. I saw the Kyle Simmons. I don't know about his batting talent, but I saw his spin, left arm spin. He looks good, but I don't compare him with the Keshav Maharaj, because Keshav Maharaj is outstanding left arm spinner, probably one of the best in the world. But I think I want that spinner who can bat a bit. So in that case, South Africa need to find, and SA T20 League can find out one or two guys who can bowl some spin and bat. Obviously, Markram can also bowl, but I think they need a proper, genuine spin bowling all rounder, the likes of Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Shakib Al Hasan type, Ashton Agar type guys, Shadab Khan. So South Africa lacking that sort of guys in their department.
When I look around the country and I look at domestic level, there aren't really many
Yeah,
of them around, to pick from. We kind of hoping that someone like, I mean, I would experiment and go with someone like a Deva Brevis who can offer you some wrist spin and he's a really attacking batter. I mean, I would have liked to see us explore a little bit with him in this particular series. They opted not to bring him in yet. Perhaps maybe next T20
yeah.
World Cup when we prepare for that, they'll probably look at him. Any final words there from you, Ashwani?
Yeah, for Indian perspective, I think whatever I saw in this Indian team also lacking that factor. I think India going with 5 specialist bowlers, but I think if they want to crosses that final hurdle line, I think over the years India is dependent so lot on Hardik Pandya. If you saw in that 50 over World Cup, after Hardik injured, they need to play that 5 specialist bowlers. Although today Tilak Verma bowls some office there, but I think India need to find that you can say that also they have the problem of number 6 bowlers. Who is the 6th bowler? They need to find out. So in that case, I think they need to find the backup replacement of Hardik Pandya, because Hardik Pandya is injured. India is, you can say that they are little bit dicey. They constantly, you can say that they need to compulsory play 5 specialist bowlers. Although that move is working in the World Cup, but I think in T20 cricket, your 6, 7, 8, they need to be multi-dimensional. They have the ability to bat, plus they have the ability to bowl as well. So India, although they won terrific match, they won by 100 something runs, but I think in future they need to find a backup of Hardik Pandya.
Ashwani, thanks a lot for coming on the show. It was great to hear from you again. I hope I see you again in the
Yeah.
future.
Thank you.
Enjoy your stay as well over there in the East, in the Middle East.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, guys. So let me get into the comment section and try to get some discussions. See what you guys have been talking about over here. I know you guys are talking amongst each other probably. Not asking any questions this side at the moment. Let's start with um, let me start with Lawrence over here. Oh, okay. Let's start with Matt. Matt saying, um, oh, Sam. Let's start with Sam. Here says, Khalid, who are all rounders in your mind who can be better than Andile? Um, I think at the moment, all round, we have quite a bit of all rounders that are coming through the system, like Jason Smith, Mapungwana. That I'm thinking with emphasis on batting. Rwanda Swart. Um, that's coming to my mind right now with batting. I mean, Michal Pretorius isn't doing too badly domestically. We might could have a think about him bringing him back into the system once again. We've got some youngsters like Andile Samalani and those guys also coming through the system that are doing pretty well. So there are a lot of all rounders coming through the system right now that I think maybe need another one or two domestic seasons for them to really put up their hand for international colors. We can see right now that it's not as easy. I mean, Don has had one good game and a couple of bad games now, and he's extremely good. And we a lot of us were talking about how that he should be in these setups, and he needs more opportunities now to play. I think. He's shown it in one game against Australia, but in the other matches that he played, he hasn't really necessarily come to the party. So we need to see him more, but we can see how difficult it is for them to step up and come into the international setup. It's no it's not child's play coming into international setup, no matter how good you are domestically. Matt says, don't know why Bartman and Stubbs didn't play today. Those are two players that I thought should have played today. I agree. It's two changes. That's two decisions that I would have probably made. When is the next T20 series? It's just before the World Cup. I don't know exactly when it is, but it is just before the World Cup. Lawrence is extremely disappointed in Rob Walter today. What was the point of dropping Stubbs? Miller and Andy Carson are already going to the World Cup, so why not give Stubbs a proper go at four? Today would have been the perfect opportunity, and I agree with you 100% there, Lawrence. Unai is amazing that almost every fan is sure that Andile doesn't deserve his opportunities anymore, but coaches are clueless. Um, Saif Ali says Patrick Kruger better than Andile. Patrick Kruger needs to bowl a lot more, I think, for him to be considered as a genuine, as an all-rounder option for South Africa, and he needs to be a lot more consistent domestically, I think, for him to get maybe perhaps a call up. I think Jason Smith at the moment is probably with his performances at the Dolphins, he's really impressed, and I think he could be a real viable option for South Africa in the near future. Ahmed says India have a great backup bowlers for Shami and Bumrah. Hopefully, we also have them before the World Cup. Hey, Khalid, bro, why we keep him playing Andile? I think we're playing him because of experience. I honestly think that Rob's picking him because of experience, to be honest. Amount of games internationally he's played. That's the only reason I can think of at the moment. It can't be on form or it can't be on his performances recently because he hasn't necessarily shown that. And I'm just trying to be honest about the situation here. I don't want to be biased or unbiased or try to. I want to try to give a fair opinion as possible, but it is at the end of the day my opinion. There might be someone else out there that maybe thinks opposite to me, but that's just what I think right now. Um, I can't think of. I think it's experience for me, and it's not transformation. I know people want to say it's because of transformation, but transformation isn't applied on a game to game basis. Transformation is applied over a season. They look at the numbers over across the board, and then it needs to weigh up how many players have played over the period of a season for South Africa that are um, a certain color. So that's how it actually works. It doesn't work like it works in domestic level, where every single game you have to meet a specific number and balance. Domestically, it works that way, where you need three Black African batters, three color players of 6 players of color, three Black African batters in the team. Oh, batters. I'm sorry, three Black African players in the team. That's not how it works at the international level. It works over a season. So they look over the season and they see how many players of color have been given opportunities of color. I wonder what did we get from playing Klassen? That's my point. We didn't really learn anything from the series. Like, if anybody can tell me that we learned anything from the series, I would like to hear what you think we learned, but I don't think we really learned anything from the series. Uh, Ahmed says, Khalid, did we experiment in bits and pieces today? I get your Khalid, we did experiment in bits and pieces today. I get your point. Uh, Matt saying it won't surprise me to see Lazard and Andile in the ODIs. Are they in the squad for the ODIs? They are. Um, yeah, it it's a bit it's something we need to see better from them. I'm gonna have to. That's the best that I can say is that we have to demand more from them. They're not young players anymore. They are experienced guys, experienced domestically. I played a lot of cricket, so we need performances from them right now. Performances consistently that we can put up their hands and say, you know what, we can rival the likes of Andrich, KG, Lungi, whoever, Gerald, Marco for positions. That's what we need. I don't Rob Walter actually knows what's going on domestically. He's just going with players he knows or he's familiar with. He's not really familiar with anybody, really. He hasn't really picked players that he's really familiar with. You guys need to remember also that yes, he was a coach at the Titans, but that was a very long time ago. It was before Mark Boucher took over the Titans. What would have gone wrong if he had played Don or Dewald at 7, an all-rounder instead of Andile? They surely couldn't have done much wrong, says Unain. Lawrence says Riza Cock, Markram, Miller Klassen will be 5 of our top 6. One more spot available between Stubbs, Riley, and Faf. Stubbs will definitely be in the squad though, 100%. So Riley and Faf, y'all fight each other, says Lawrence. Yeah, I kind of said that the contracted players have to fight each other on the show yesterday as well. Michal Pretoria's batting has really improved and definitely a much better version of Andile. Some could be same couldn't be said about Ethan and Swanepoel. I think Ethan and Swanepoel have to show it more consistently before they get the selection, before they get brought into the South African setup. I think we can't just give out debuts also like candy. William is like a store player, wide balls, wide ball, wide ball, like a state player. I don't know what you mean by that. Andile never going to be dropped. He will play all matches of SA. He is Rob's favorite poor coach. I wouldn't say he's Rob's favorite. Um, he was a ditch kind of inclusion into the SA side. He was first dropped from the whole setup completely and then brought in when there was injuries to like Wayne Parnell, etc. Adila registered most number of ducks for SA in T20s, crossing 10 by 6 ducks today. Says Avent. Didn't know that. At Brevis time now. Khalid, why you say skills there is an 198 average, nothing to wrong players? Huh? I don't know what you mean there, bro. Wesley says, why has Pakilkwai never played in any big T20 leagues outside of SA if he was such a good player? He's not that guy. He hasn't really done much in the SA 20 either. So it, I don't understand. I can't really answer that for you guys necessarily at the moment. Amazing that we all know why coaches kind of push to select players like Andile because they can't pick 6 white batters, white all-rounders, and white bowlers, but we are quiet on it. Racism. It's not nothing to do with racism, and it isn't racism at all. Like I just said, that the transformation targets aren't picked per game; they're picked over a season, so it's not on a game-to-game basis. Kelly says, is Rob the one behind Desire, to be honest, because he seems to really like him. He's a solid cricketer, but I'm not sure about the step up. Wesley says, pick players who did well in the CPL since T20 World Cup is in the Caribbean. Guys like Michal Pretorius, Corbin Bosch, George Linder. It's common sense that escape CSA time and time again. Bats is not good enough to play at this level. He knows Lazard from coaching the Titans in the past. That's not true. Lazard was at Western Province when he was at the Titans. Remember that Lazard Williams played at Western Province his whole life before he moved to the Titans. Went on a loan spell at the Lions and then he signed for the Titans. Let me just come down a little bit to some of the latest comments over here. Sorry if I missed any of your comments. Someone mentioned Bjorn Fortuin. I think Bjorn Fortuin is very unlucky to miss out on this side. Um, Bjorn Fortuin should go play for Netherlands. We don't deserve that guy. Been taken for one for some time now. Um, Bjorn should really have been in the squad. Matt92 says, made it too easy for India today, embarrassing performances. Avin says, Batman should have given a chance today. Think he is much more well-rounded bowler than Williams, says Arvind. Kelly giving some all-rounders in Michael Pretorius, Jason Smith, Michlali Mapungwana. Jason Smith to be largely invisible sometimes, to be honest, to selectors that is. Yeah, because of his consistency over his previous seasons. Last season was his like first breakthrough season, you could say. He's like his second breakthrough season, you could say, because the Dolphins move has been fantastic for him. It was so chaotic to be to get into the Wanderers, but I left early because of the performance, says Blitz. Bayes Swanepoel can also fit that role. Um, why Don catching strays on uh, strays on X? Not for Bad attitude. I think Rob needs help selecting the teams for T20 and ODI cricket since he is not familiar with the players who are playing domestically. But I'm sure he does consult Enoch and as well as Shukri as well on certain players. But it'll get there. Um, like I said, it's fine. It's all right because ODI and T20 cricket at the moment, ODI cricket is going to need some work because we need to now start to gradually start building for the future for that 2027 World Cup. In the T20 arena, you need to just pick who's the best, the next best players. Um, Sam asks, Khalid, bro, in your opinion, do you think Rob Walter should be more proactive in terms of his coaching and player selection point of view? I think in the ODIs right now, he needs to be. I think we have enough time now to grow and give players an extended run. It's unfortunate that we play such a little games. So Rob doesn't really have much opportunity to really test players. There's no SAA ODI team or SAA T20 team for them to like really play a couple of games and test themselves against international quality before the Proteas. So they kind of have to be tested at international level. Um, Unfortunately, that's the situation we're sitting with. So but if he's going to give players a chance, he needs to give them a run. We can't give a player two games or one game and then expect them and then just take them out and then give him another game and then take them out. I think, like for example, we can't do what we've been doing to Stubbs. Stubbs needs to have a prolonged run in a position and then say, okay, cool, he's ready, he's not ready, and then switch. Blitz says the atmosphere at the stadium was amazing. I wish I was there, bro. Lawrence says, I agree, Khalid. Andile gets picked because of his experience, but we haven't seen that experience coming through for a long time now. We're talking 2-3 years now where he's been, it's 100% correct. And that's why I can't defend him at all at the moment. I just defend the fact that he's getting picked because of his color, that people want to make that statement. I don't think that's the truth at all. Andila ain't bad cricket at all. We just missed the consistency he showed when he first came into the Protea setup. Remember, this guy was once the one of the best ODI teams in the world. Yeah, we mustn't forget that. Kane Pranit says, great show, Holly. Thank you very much. Wesley says, 95 all out at home should be an embarrassment. Do these guys really care? It was quite shocking. Sam says, Ryan Rickleton really unlucky to miss in ODIs. He can be perfect like for like replacement of Quentin de Kock. I don't think he's like for like replacement. He's his own player. Matt 92 CSA should organize more games in preparation for T20 World Cup. That's tough, but yeah, that's all we have available right now. Why can't we play Namibia more often? They are a T20 team that qualified for the World Cup. That's a good option. 100% a good option. Your predictions for the Test series, bro? We will do a preview show on the Test series, definitely. My predictions, though, are it's going to be a tough series for South Africa. A lot of players are going to feel the pressure. But I think South Africa, with the news going around that Mohamed Shami could possibly miss the Test series, I think South Africa really stand a chance to put on a proper fight against India, with the right, obviously with the if we. I back Coach Shukri to make the right selection, etc. There is also some talk about KG possibly missing out as well, which is going to be a big thing. We could see Nande Berger make his debut in all three formats within a space of 2 weeks, which is mental to think about. Um, so yeah, Lawrence says at least on Sunday we'll see proper cricket. I love the ODI format. Yeah, I love the ODI format as well. So we'll go into that tomorrow. We'll start discussing the ODIs and doing a preview show for the ODIs tomorrow. So we can get that conversation starting and who we'd like to see in the starting 11, etc. But that's me, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also, guys, like I said at the beginning of the show, please sign up to our Business Corner. The link is on the screen right now, as well as in the description. And share that link with all your friends or your family or people that you know that have businesses or entrepreneurs, etc. Please share that link to as many people as possible. It's free for them to read. They can just have a read there and see if they're interested. Wesley Maestri, thank you a lot for the super sticker. You are awesome. All of that really helps the channel and helps our survival over here as well. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another preview show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Peace out.